am I making this microphone that's sub $100 sound better than some of these microphones that are $200, $300, $400?
Remember when we were building Carlos's Endeavor?
Answer is death by 1,000 cuts, but with plugins, specifically free plugins. That's what this tutorial is today. Make sure you stick around if you want to learn. This video is going to be a little bit longer, but I hope that it will give you a lot of really good information. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build what's called a tracking chain. What you're trying to do with this is simulate what it's like to go to a tracking engineer in an actual studio where they're taking your vocal and they're just recording it for you before you send it off to somebody for it to get mixed. You want to use small increments and then build them up to something nice by the end of it. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be taking a bunch of free plugins and we're going to be putting them into a vocal chain. I'm going to explain to you how to use these plugins, how they are used, what they do in the vocal chain, how you can then apply those to your vocal chain and hopefully get a better mix. The first thing that we're going to do when we're trying to mix something is put some sort of like pre-gain into the microphone because we're recording at a lower gain. You watched the previous video before this one, you know that already. We turned our gain down, and that's because when we start pushing signal from all of these other plugins, it's gonna start to get rough if we have our gain turned up a lot. So try to have your gain low before you do that. Alright, so our first plugin is called Drive Knob, and what this is doing is just boosting the signal. You don't even have to do that much. Just turn the knob. It's a one knob plugin, super easy, and it's free. The second plugin that we have into our vocal chain is a comper, and what this is doing is kind of like what a CLA 76 would do. What this is gonna do is this is gonna take your small frequencies and make them more like your big frequencies, and your big frequencies make them more like your small frequencies. Once you do that, the vocal is going to be a little bit more in your face, but it's still going to sound like it's not carved. It's not like shaped into the vocal sound that you want. That's where we do something called equalization. What equalization does is it directly targets certain frequencies so that we can only manipulate those frequencies on a scale from 0 to, I think, 20,000 hertz. Above like 10K aren't heard as much, so you should be ducking those frequencies. You should be ducking those frequencies. You should probably also be ducking around 3K, but gotta look for those specific peaks. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're sweeping the signal. They're gonna be different for every single mic, so don't just follow this tutorial. At the end of our recording chain, before we go into our main bus chain, is the FET Drive by Analog Obsession. This simply is just giving me a little bit of color from a FET style compressor. It's what I like. You don't have to do this part. That's part 2. Next part is going to be all about the main signal chain. Stay tuned for that and follow me for more videos.